Independence Day will be fulfilled.
There can be
no better birthday present for America than the phenomenal victory we achieved just hours ago when Congress passed the one big beautiful bill to make America great again.
It's okay that you're It's
There has
okay.
been uncertainty as to whether the president had the votes
I want
in
to
the
watch
early
them.
hours of Wednesday morning. Some Republicans have voiced opposition to the estimated $3.4 trillion the bill will add to the U.S. deficit over the next 10 years. Others to the cuts to the social safety net. The Congressional Budget Office says some 12 million will lose health care by the end of the decade. The White House disputes those numbers. But as has happened so often in the past, almost all Republican opposition folded when it came time to actually vote, with just 2 Republicans voting against. Tens of billions of dollars are allocated to build the U.S.-Mexico border wall, increase detention facilities, and make immigration and customs enforcement the highest-funded federal law enforcement agency in U.S. history. And the tax cuts Donald Trump passed in his first term that disproportionately favor the wealthy are made permanent. All Democrats voted against the bill, but despite their opposition, they do seem gleeful about running on this budget in next year's midterm elections. Their message has already been honed. Trump is giving tax cuts to the rich while taking from the poor.
People will die. Tens of thousands. Perhaps year after year after year. As a result, the Republican assault on the health care of the American people. I'm sad. I never thought that I'd be on the House floor saying that death is a crime scene.
The Republicans seem aware of the urgency of that message, so many of the cuts to the social safety net won't take effect until after next week's congressional elections.
Ayan mga ka-Jumigz, mag-relax tayo.
The Taliban is describing Russia's official recognition as government a grave decision. Moscow says it will support Kabul in security and counter-terrorism. A significant boost for the Taliban, which has been seeking more international recognition since seizing power in 2021 following the US withdrawal. Other countries, including China,
Mag-relax
have
mga
previously
ka-Jumigz, napagod ako sa
accepted ambassadors from
lakad
the
mga
Taliban
as
government.
in, grabe talaga.
Hundreds of
Nakakapagod.
Kenyans have died
Kagating
over
na namin, umaga pa kami mga ka-Jumigz.
climate change,
Ayan, nag-love shout out. Ayan.
coexistence between humans
May nag-love shout out po sa inyong lahat dyan.
government has started compensating people who've been affected by wildlife conflicts, which turned out to be extremely expensive, as Catherine Swope reports.
The world calls them gentle giants, but they here in Kenya's Samburu County say they are anything but gentle. Vitarua Lesumat is grieving his son, who was killed by an elephant in April.
Ayan, good afternoon. Relax mo na. Mahaba ang
Elephant hides.
bakasyon, yung bakasyon. Pero ang excited talaga ako mga ka-Jumigz na ako. Nainis lang ako kasi hindi niya na-video. Bawal kasi doon mag-video talaga mga ka-Jumigz sa racetrack. So sa ang ganda talaga niya mga ka-Jumigz. Marunong ba ako mag-drive. Kasi meron siyang tawag doon orientation. So tsaka pag nabunggo mo yung car na inano mo din na drive mo sa go-kart siya mga ka-Jumigz, ikaw yung magbayad nun ng damage. So ako marunong ako mga ka-Jumigz. Grabe talaga yung racetrack ko kanina mga ka-Jumigz. Sayang lang hindi niya binidyohan. Picture lang po mga ka-Jumigz. Kaya naiinis ako. Buti na lang sana yung driver na lang pinapa-video ko sa akin. Sige lang, hindi malayo. Doon na ka lang sa nila yung date na naka-standby mga ka-Jumigz. Maraming salamat sa mga nag-standby at nag-visit sa aking channel. May nag-love shoutout po sa inyong lahat dyan. Good afternoon. Ayan. Imagine, nalubat na yung phone ko. Dami namin itong araw na ito mga ka-Jumigz. Grabe ang pinunta namin. Naamis talaga ako dito sa lugar, dito sa Dumaguete, mga ka-Jumigs. Ang ganda talaga siya. Ano siya, mga ka-Jumigs, tawag doon. Nakakamangha doon sa may pulang bato. Ano siya, yung bang sulfur, yung bang nag-aasto talaga siya, mga ka-Jumigs. Akala mo vulkan talaga. Pero vulkan na talaga yun, mga ka-Jumigs. Vulkan talaga daw yun. Tapos, ano lang, ayan mga ka-Jumigs, mga ka-Jumigs, ang ganda talaga doon mga ka-Jumigs kasi
Football continues to more
ano siya, kaya
detail.
napagod ako nakalive ako ngayon, ako nakalive na nakahiga mga ka-Jumigs ha. Kasi yung tawag doon, napagod yung pa ako sa kakalakad mga ka-Jumigs. Pero sa lahat ng inano ko mga ka-Jumigs, magaganda talaga ang mga pinunta namin, mga beaches, ang mamahal mga ka-Jumigs, grabe yung pagkain nila mga ka-Jumigs. As in, ang kanin pa lang doon, naku, ano pala yun, sikat pala yun siya na beach, Pura Beda, siya mga ka-Jumigs, ang mahal, pero ang sarap, grabe. Itong isa, ngayon lang siya nasarapan sa pagkain. Grabe talaga siya, ang sarap niya. Nagustuhan ko mga ka-Jumigs, ang sarap ng nila, pizza nila. Yan. Tawag doon, maganda talaga as in, ganda. Kakaiba yung beach nila dito mga ka-Jumigs, kasi maganda siya. Ang ano lang niya is itim tapos brown, pinong-pino. Ang kaanohan doon sa amin doon sa south is ano siya yung tawag doon. Tuan siya mga ka-Jumigs, yung bang ang ano niya is white beach. Ayan. Hello, maraming salamat sa mga nakatambay. Ayan, kagabi, pasensyahan nyo na kagabi, nag-live ako kagabi. Nakamute yun kasi doon kami sa resto bar sa Irish, resto bar siya. May live band kasi doon, mas wala pang live band. May music na talaga siya as in, yan. Dami doon, nung palapit na yung ng live band, ang dami mga foreigner, mga asawa ng mga Pinay. Dami. Yan. Yung iba hindi ko nung kinukunan kasi, pero marami ako may upload talaga mga ka-Chinese, no? 4 days na ako hindi nakapag-upload. For days na ako hindi nakapag-upload. Ng lang ko kaya nag-live ako mga ka-Chinese kasi hindi ako makapag-edit. Maraming salamat kasi mga naka-stand. Mega love shoutout po sa inyong lahat dyan. Good afternoon, pasensya niyo na ako kasi nagtawag doon. Kailangan ko higa kasi ang sakit talaga ng mga paa ko, mga ka-Jumigs. As in, ang sakit ng paa ko. Napapagod ako mga ka-Jumigs. Ko sa yung kasi ang nilalakad namin, kami ng bridge, kasi malayo eh. Pero the best talaga mga Jumigs ng ko kasi very first time kong nag-drive ng kotse. Yung automatic ba, automatic o electric, yung go-car, ang ganda talaga mga ka-Jumigs, as in. Na-visit lang ako dito sa kasi hindi siya dapat yung nirent namin yung driver na nirent namin na dapat siya na lang ang pinapakuha ko ng video. Ang ganda talaga mag-drive. First time ko mga ka-Jumigs mag-drive. Ay, galing. Marunong na ako. Wow. Sa racing siya. Go-car racing. Okay. Meron pa akong, pa ako na, syempre, pa-picture sa malaking trophy. Ayan.
Because I
Ganda.
used to think that flying the airplane is the safest thing.
On July 17, 2014, Captain Chu took off from Schiphol Airport outside Amsterdam on a routine flight to Kuala Lumpur. The plane disappeared from radar less than 3 hours later.
That night, around Malaysia time, about 8 something, I suddenly have the feeling that I miss him so much.
The plane was shot down over East
Not it finished?
where Russian-backed separatists were staging
It's
an armed
minute.
rebellion against the Ukrainian
It's not good.
Commercial aircraft have been flying at 33,000 feet, far above the reach of conventional weaponry. But somehow the Boeing passenger jet
Yan mga ka-Jumigs, mga ka-Jumigs.
They told me the flight when they say initially. Yeah.
Did you have any hope that things might still be okay?
Of course, yes. As long as they haven't found his body, he might come back. Yeah.
I hear you.
Until he came to my training.
I hear you.
Like, really,
I hear you.
until
why
he
I
came
walk-
to my training, I said he's not coming back.
For Malaysia, it was doubly shocking. Not only were 43 Malaysians dead, including the 15 crew, it was the second Malaysian Airlines jet to be lost in 4 months.
A search and rescue operation is underway for a missing Malaysia Airlines aircraft.
In March, MH370 mysteriously disappeared without trace.
Ay, mga ka-Jumigs.
This time,
Back
the
naman
wreckage
ako
was
mga
in
ka-Jumigs.
plane.
Mag-back tayo. Ayan, ano yan siya mga ka-Jumigs.
Messages of pro-Russian
Hello, hello.
senators
Bigyan mi ka lang shoutout. Pasensya na kayo, nakahiga ako kasi napagod na ako sa biyahe mga ka-Jumigs. Sa biyahe, ang layo ng ano namin, pinasya lang namin mga ka-Jumigs. Sinulit namin ang bakasyon. Yan. Sinulit namin ang bakasyon. Napagod kasi ako mga ka-Jumigs, kaya kailangan natin mag-relax. Yan. Pagod ako, kailangan ko kasi imagine mga ka-Jumigs, maaga pa kami umalis dito. Umalis kami dito 7. Yan, alas 7 pa kami umalis dito mga ka-Jumigs. Tapos, ngayon lang kami dumati. Di pa, ngayon lang kami dumati. Anong oras na? Anong oras na ngayon? Yan, imagine. 4:38. Yan. Pag live ko, imagine, nag-live kagad ako, nagbihis, nag-live, nagbihis ako. Yan, nagpalit ako ng damit para makahiga na ako kasi gusto ko talagang ilatat yung likod ko mga ka-Jumigs kasi ang dami namin pinuntahasin. Ngayong araw na ito, tagtag yung katawan ko. Pero sulit naman mga ka-Jumigs. Ang ganda talaga. Ang ganda talaga dito sa Dumaguete. Gusto ko yung go-car. Ano ko pa talaga yung go-car talaga. Hindi ko talaga, bet ko talaga yung go-car. Kasi marunong ako mag-drive. Yan. Marunong ako mag-drive mga ka-Jumigs. Maraming salamat mga ka-Jumigs sa pag-visit ninyo sa aking munting bahay. Bigyan ka lang shoutout po sa inyo. Yan. Tsaka pumunta kami doon sa lugar mga ka-Jumigs na yung may unggoy. Kaya, panoorin nyo ang aking, watching nyo kasi sa aking video na ina-upload. Yung unggoy talaga kapag video, kasi ang dami, ang babait nila. Ang bait nila, pwede mo siya bigyan ng pagkain, yan, alam mo sa pala, tapos ang asin, ang bait talaga nila eh. Bait ang mga unggoy. I'm their mother. Joke mga ka-Jumigs. Maraming salamat sa mga nag-standby. Maraming ko lang shoutout po sa mga chat. Mamaya, harangan natin ang ulan yan kasi ayun ang isa na makita yung mukha niya. Harangan natin ang ulan mamaya. Ayan. Harangan natin ang ulan mamaya. Manood ako ng radar.
Alongside Schiphol Airport, there's a memorial to the tragedy.
Yeah, pwede kayo mag-comment.
298 saplings growing into trees. Each represents a victim of the crime. 3 commemorate relatives of Pete Brook, who heads the association of the victims' families.
I lost my brother.
Bigyan ng shoutout po mga ka-Jumigs. Maraming salamat. Ganyan ko kasi para makita ko yung kung ilan yung Huwag kalimutan mag-thumbs up. Maraming salamat. Relax muna ako mga ka-Jumigs yan. Pwede kayo mag-comment at mag-ano ko. Habang naka-relax, naka-ano yung katawan ko. Kasi nakapagod talaga ako makakaroon sa sinimba. Yung mga pakon sakit kasi nakatsunilas lang ako kasi diretso kami ng resort. Ayan, Nag-ano kami ng resort kami mga Jumigs. Ano na resort mga Jumigs, in fairness. Yan, ganyanin natin siya kasi para hindi yan siya nakikita. Article siya mga Jumigs. Hindi siya gusto mga Jumigs na makita na siya sa ano siya na magkuhan siya sa kanyang video. Yan, ganyanin natin siya mga Jumigs. Para hindi yan siya makita. Mamaya ano na siya.
As the country with the most
Hello, maraming
victims, the Netherlands was
salamat. Huwag
tasked
kalimutan
with
mag-thumbs up.
It formed a joint investigation team with Australia, Malaysia, Ukraine, and Belgium.
Mamaya alis na naman kami mga Jumigs. Relax na kami. Alis naman kami. Punta naman kami ng Resto Bar.
When we started this,
Kasi ano, doon, music kasi naman music.
but what I say is always step by step, keep on going, just doing what you have to do, and we'll see what happens.
While the official investigators gathered evidence in the field, negotiating with hostile rebels to collect the wreckage, a team of citizen investigators started digging online. Elias Higgins is the founder of Bellingcat, an Amsterdam-based research group that does open source investigation, mining data from public platforms like social media. MH17 was its first investigation.
Did you think back in July 2014 you were going to be able to solve what happened?
No, I mean, really, it was just starting with the kind of basic building blocks. You know, looking at these photographs and identify where they were.
Bellingcat soon found proof
Okay.
that Russia
No! It's a big
In
no.
the last 15 years, you've seen the rise of smartphone technology, so there's lots of people going out taking photographs, sharing them on social media, which is a really big source of information.
So you were able to trace the digital footprint, as it were, the bulk missile coming from Russia to Ukraine.
That's right.
Wash your
Social
hands.
media showed Russia had given the rebels a book-tailored missile system just hours before MH17 was shot down.
We were able to show definitively that the missile launcher came from Russia, the specific brigade it came from in Russia, when it was transported. But alongside that, we were able to show different aspects. So we could show the route it traveled on the day. We could show the various soldiers and separatist members who were involved with it. Just purely from publicly available information, we have photographs.
Hello, mga Jumigs.
And then once they
Good
realized what was
afternoon.
done,
What?
Ang spell.
You know, I just live.
Russia
Look
fought
at this.
back with its own
Very there, it's real bad.
In the days after the crash, social
Yeah,
media
it's been
sites
bad. I told you, you must
claimed Ukraine or even the CIA
Different version, namely that the Malaysian Boeing was shot down by a Ukrainian military jet.
Russian state media, including its English language outlet Russia Today, claimed the investigation could not be trusted.
they didn't present one version of events. They presented multiple pieces of evidence that could support different versions of events, and then let the online community that supported them really kind of pick the one they liked and amplify that.
So they were trying to sow doubts, to sow confusion.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the work we were doing with Bellingcat to, first of all, fact check their claims, which all turned out to be false, and to do the investigation into what really happened with MH.
Hello, mga Jumigs.
Big gap in the public
Yeah,
knowledge.
good afternoon, good afternoon. Magandang galag shoutout po sa mga channel. Maraming salamat sa mga naka-standby. Ayan, mag-ano ko mag-live ako mga Jumigs hanggang hindi pa kami umalis kasi may alis na
Who
kami.
was the crew of that book-tailor on such and such date? No answers. So, at a certain moment, we stopped asking.
The disinformation campaign had a striking effect. Sander Essens lost his brother Peter, sister-in-law Yonette, and their two children Emma and Valentine, who was just 17. To his horror, even Dutch people were telling him Russia couldn't be blamed.
Of course I feel anger, and it has grown even more to see that so much confusion
know. Some say, well, if I heard there was a Ukrainian fighter
Alam mo ko yung mix, ang
going
guna ko
after
mga
that.
Jumigz.
So
Ang guna ko sa harapan namin. Kaya mo yung parang resulta. Nakakaawa naman ako.
Perhaps more surprisingly, some world leaders sided with Russia, including Malaysia's then Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad.
Yeah, very unfair. Because one of the very beginning, it became a political issue on how to accuse Russia of the wrongdoing. Even before they step in, they already see Russia. Not exactly. So it's very difficult for us to accept that.
Pero,
Prosecutors, meanwhile, had a bigger challenge than public opinion. They had to find the key people responsible and prove their involvement in a court of law. Their first break was that Ukraine had been intercepting messages between separatist leaders and Kremlin representatives.
Because it was a war going on in Ukraine, there were many wiretapped conversations, and as the joint investigation team and also the Dutch police, we had access to that wiretapped conversations.
The wiretaps showed the so-called rebels were actually under the command of Russians. Foremost was Igor Girkin, a former colonel from the Russian spy service who was the rebel defense chief. Codenamed Strelkov, he had repeatedly asked Moscow for superior missiles to shoot down Ukrainian warplanes.
ano mga Jumigz yan, hindi natin alam eh.
Prosecutors focused
Isang
on
mga Jumigz
Girkin
wala.
and three others they believed were
Ano na natin kasi maano yung, yung tawag ko yun,
Many conversations of
yung
Gergen, Dubinsky, and Harchenko and the people around them talking about
sarado natin mga Jumigz yung curtain. Kasi ang ano, ang tawag.
air defense system, which could fire higher.
But to bring a case to court, prosecutors had to prove one of those booked missiles had actually shot down the plane. Astoundingly, that meant putting the wreckage back together.
we've come to the Yugoslavian airbase where the remnants, the pieces of MH17 have been reconstructed like some macabre jigsaw. From all the pieces found in this vast area where the plane broke apart, they came to Earth. And there it is.
Hundreds of pieces were assembled to recreate the front section of the plane, the cockpit and business class.
Ouch.
It was the only way to
Hello
establish
mga Jumigz. Ay, ayan.
You know about
Hindi
it.
na tayo
You
mga
read
Jumigz.
about it.
Ayan,
You
hindi
see
tayo
things
ng
about it. But
TV.
when you enter that part of the plane that's still there,
So,
and you see the seats, especially the seats in the cockpit of the pilots.
hello! Good afternoon, good afternoon. Maraming salamat sa pag-visit sa aking muling bahay. May ganyan shoutout po sa mga dyan. Pasensyahan niyo na ako ha, kasi nakahiga ako. Inaano, nare-relax lang yung ano ko. Yung katawan ko kasi maghapon kami mga Jumigz na naglaka, nagbiyahe. Tapos naglalakwat siya mga Jumigz. Ano sa mga ganda, mga tour spots dito sa Magete.
Now, as the plane was flying over eastern Ukraine, government-controlled territory was way over there to the right. On the left here was rebel territory, and you can clearly see the impact of a missile strike from the
Hello,
rebel
mga
side, putting
Jumigz.
the lie to the claim that it may have been a
Kalimutan
Ukrainian government
magtansa.
warplane that shot it
Yan.
down.
Kasi matagal na ako hindi nakapag 4 days. Mga Jumigz din ako nakapag-upload. So kailangan ko po mag-live talaga.
The Dutch safety ball
Kasi
was
naano ko
able
na
to
yung
ambush
pag-upload.
the moment of impact.
Ano ko pa kasi yan, ano ko mga Jumigz.
This
Kasi marami pa akong i-upload talaga. As in, ang dami kong i-upload.
About 800 preformed fragments perforate the aeroplane. This impact, combined with the blast of the explosion, causes the cockpit and the business class section to separate. As it descends, the aeroplane disintegrates.
That is just
For the prosecutors, this was the key forensic evidence to bring the case to court. They charged Igor Girkin and 3 others with mass murder.
In this courtroom, we're concerned with what Igor Girkin, Sergei Dubinsky, Oleg Kulatov, and Leonid Karchenko did on and around 17 July 2014.
Is there any excuse that they didn't intend to shoot down a passenger jet? They thought they were shooting down a military
Hello
plane.
mga ka-Jumis
It's
ko
not an
dyan.
excuse. They took the risk. They knew that they were asking for
Alam mo mga
a weapon
ka-Jumis,
that could
meron
fire
talagang ano
higher.
dito
They
no,
knew there
yung
were
sa
civilians
ano,
there.
online.
They
Sabi
put
niya,
the interior,
nag-sub na siya sa
on
akin.
a little hill,
Pero
which
hindi
is
pala.
really underneath
Alam
the
nakita ko,
highway
wala
in the
talagang
sky.
sub.
And they knew there
Sinasab
were
ko naman
planes
siya,
still flying
sinasab.
there. So
Binisit ko yung ano niya, sinab ko. Pero okay
Russia
lang.
refused to
Ganun
extradite
talaga
them to face
yung
trial.
ano, no? Hindi mo talaga maano yung mga tao talaga, no? Kaya ingat-ingat lang kayo mga ka-Jumis sa mga ano, sa ano nyo, tawag ko, magsabi ng gano'n. Na, pero sa bagay, nasa kanya na po yan. At
They were
least,
tried in absentia.
inano ko naman.
Over 32 months, the
Yung
prosecutors
tawag
laid
ko,
out the trail
ewan
that
ko
led
ba,
from the Kremlin
bakit
to
ano.
rebel-held territory to the
Okay
last
lang.
moment of the flight. Gherkin refused to even have a lawyer, telling journalists he didn't recognize the authority of a Western court.
Я отлично знаю все западное правосудие, как говорится, внимательно слежу. Его лицемерие, оно, может быть, выглядит намного более респектабельно, чем лицемерие российского правосудия, но на самом деле не сильно отличается.
Hello, we begin with breaking news from the Netherlands. A court in Amsterdam has convicted 3 men of murder for the bombing of flight.
In November 2022, the court found Gherkin and 2 others guilty, sentencing them to life in prison.
Veel de rechtbank de gevangenisneming van de veroordeelde.
Russia rejected the Dutch court's decision, calling it scandalous.
The criminal case, it was a file of more than 70,000 pages. I've attended all hearings of the criminal court. There was so much overwhelming evidence. I don't understand why don't they take their own responsibility and say it was a mistake and we are sorry, but they are not able to say sorry.
The court ruled that Russia supplied the deadly book Taylor. Prosecutors now wanted to prove who had authorized it. In February 2023, the Joint Investigation Team named a new suspect, Vladimir Putin himself.
there are strong indications that a decision was made at presidential level.
Hello mga ka-Jumis, maraming salamat. Mega live shoutout po sa inyo. Maraming salamat sa mga naka-standby. Maraming salamat sa pag-visit.
The smoking gun was a
Ayan,
series
huwag
of
kalimutan
wiretaps
mag-thumbs
where
up
officials said
or like
Dmitry would
mga
have to wait
ka-Jumis.
until Kiev
Nanonood ako na ng mga ka-Jumis ako na relax mga ka-Jumis. Kasi ano talaga yung ano ko, yung tawag doon. Katawan ko. Napagod talaga ako mga ka-Jumis. As in,
This was June 4th,
ganda ng ano yung pag-drive ko mga ka-Jumis sa
2014, which
go-car.
on June 5th and 6th there
Ayan,
was the
marunong na ako
T-Day
mga ka-Jumis.
commemoration
Yes.
where Putin was.
Ang mahal ang ano
You
lang
really
mga
had
ka-Jumis
at
yung
those moments,
ano,
because
bayan lang. May
something is
minutes.
not going
Imagine 6
right there.
minutes,
He's not there,
500.
he's in France.
Pero sulit naman mga
We know,
ka-Jumis as
everybody
in.
knows in the world, you
Sa
have all the pictures. Putin is in
Yan, kaya
France.
punta
So
kayo rito. Punta kayo doon sa Pukar. Ganda talaga as in. Talagang sa lahat ng pinuntahan ko na tourist spots dito mga ka-Jumis. Sa Bukar na talaga ako, sa racing na talaga ako na grabe as in. Yung hanga ko at saka ang ganda-ganda talaga na alis talaga ako mga ka-Jumis. Kasi nag-drive ako mga ka-Jumis.
even war crimes.
But this
Yeah,
Putin
we try time.
101 team may eventually be charged.
When he's no longer head of state and when we have enough evidence, and it also depends on what other cases will there ever be against Putin.
So is that the end of the matter?
No, we can't do anything now, but we're still open for new information and we're ready for that, yeah. Everything we can do in our investigation from here, from outside of Russia, we did. The rest of the answers are there, and who knows, one day someone will bring us those answers. And then we're ready.
For now, Putin appears to have got away with murder. Not just for MH17, but for all the civilians and soldiers killed in Ukraine since 2014. Some believe the weak reaction to MH17 gave a green light to Putin's dream of a full-scale invasion.
I think a lot of politicians just didn't want to confront Russia, and even after it became clear that
Hello
Russia was
mga
involved in Ukraine,
ka-Jumex.
and it did shoot
Good
down
afternoon, good afternoon. May ganun sa shoutout. At saka maraming salamat po lalabs ko sa pagsuporta talaga. Maraming salamat lalabs.
So there really should have been a stronger reaction to that at the time, and I think it could have prevented what happened in 2022.
In the final insult to the families, Gherkin was eventually jailed in Russia, but it had nothing to do with MH17. In January 2024, he was sentenced to 4 years for inciting
Yes, because it's low bar.
insulting
It's not
Putin
holding up.
and suggesting he might
It's
run
an
against him in
charge.
the next election.
He's gone to jail because he had a big mouth around Putin, and that's
They
difficult.
charge because it's low, it's almost low
He
bar.
has to go to jail
Almost low bar.
for the trouble in the diamond and having off fight MH17.
101 East contacted the Kremlin press office regarding the allegations made in this program. There was no response. Back in Malaysia, Ivy Loy goes through the daily challenge of dealing with loss. She has spent over 10 years trying to be both mother and father to her 2 sons. They've decided to pursue their childhood dreams. Scott, now 21, is in England studying to become a pilot like his dad. Melvin, now 23, is already flying.
My whole plan was not to become a pilot anymore because of what happened to my dad. But I guess somehow we still end up going towards this path. Life goes on. Yeah, life does go on. It's something that I have to do to continue my family's legacy.
Ventura County, California, known for its fertile soil. It's also one of the
Hello
places
mga
where the
ka-Jumex ko
latest
dyan. Maraming
round of
salamat
immigration raids have
sa
taken place.
pag-standby.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have been carrying raids all around this area where undocumented immigrants come to work by picking up tomatoes, strawberries, and other vegetables. Is that what a number of countries help Russia to bypass sanctions?
Inside story on Al Jazeera.
Istanbul vibe. Istanbul vibe. It's a lava.
Bombs start and now shot. The number of Palestinians killed trying to get food in
Hello mga
Gaza.
ka-Jumex ko dyan. Huwag kalimutan mag-thumbs up or like.
I'm Manin Saeed. This is Al Jazeera live from Doha. Also coming up, it's been described as slaughter masquerading as aid. Now, US security contractors speak out about what's really happening at Gaza's controversial food distribution centers. Also ahead, Ukraine says Russia has launched drones, ballistic and cruise missiles in a huge overnight attack. Plus, hundreds of firefighters in Turkey and Greece have been battling wildfires. 2 people have died, tens of thousands have been forced out of their homes. Israel's aid blockade, controversial Gaza Humanitarian Foundation food distribution sites are breaking families across Gaza. Live ammunition and stun grenades are regularly being used against Palestinians waiting to get food.
Hello
And
mga
civilians
ka-Jumigz ko
are
pa
paying with their
dyan.
lives. Ibrahim Al-Khalid reports.
Mega ko shoutout po sa mga lahat dyan.
An impossible decision to starve or die while trying to get food. The controversial Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has been accused of opening fire on civilians queuing for basic supplies. Hunger weaponized by the promise of a full stomach.
Hello mga ka-Jumigz ko pa dyan. Good afternoon. Mega ko shoutout po sa inyo lahat dyan.
The kind of silence lived by a missing loved one.
Maraming salamat sa nag-standby. Yan, nagiga tayo mga ka-Jumigz. Relax.
My son was a provider. I depended totally on him. He was killed and I am left with nothing. I lost him. With it, I lost everything I had. He was the pillar and foundation of our life. After him, there is no life, nothing. These centres are death traps. Most of those killed there are young. We are forced to go there out of desperation for food. We go there out of hunger. We ran out of flour and everything else. Instead of coming back carrying a bag of flour, they themselves are being carried back as bodies.
It's a nightmare that is also playing out in Gaza medical facilities across Gaza. Without reliable access to medical supplies, victims of aid center shootings are relying on a medical system close to a breaking point.
These Israeli attacks target civilians waiting to receive food aid. Those are civilians gathered together in one place. Once a missile or shell lands among them, very large numbers of them are killed and injured.
Every day, Palestinians are hearing stories of shootings at aid centers. But the need for food is so great. Palestinians are still traveling in their hundreds to try and access supplies. It's a risk some are still willing to take, but the consequences are being seen firsthand by the civil defense.
We have recorded evidence of civilians being deliberately killed by the Israeli military. More than 600 Palestinian civilians were killed at these centers. Some were shot by Israeli snipers, others were killed by drone attacks, airstrikes, or shooting targeting families seeking aid.
As the sound of Israeli drones remains ever constant in Gaza, families living broken by violence and aid centers must now wonder where their next meal will come from. Ibrahim Al-Khalid, Al Jazeera, Gaza City, Palestine.
Meanwhile, an Associated Press report shows that American security contractors working for the controversial Gaza Humanitarian Foundation have used live ammunition and stun grenades against Palestinians waiting to get food. 2 American security contractors leaked alarming videos showing some of the practices carried out at these distribution sites. Some of the Jamaica has more.
Bombed, besieged, starved, and then shot at when they tried to get some food. Hungry Palestinians are met with live bullets at so-called aid sites run by Israeli and US contractors. The controversial Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, or GHF, has been found accused of killing and wounding aid seekers. Now the Associated Press says it's obtained this leaked video from people within the GHF.
2 U.S. contractors who spoke to us on the condition of anonymity because they were revealing their employer's internal operations said they were coming out because they were disturbed by what they saw as dangerous and irresponsible practices. Both have extensive military experience. They say the security staff on site were often unqualified, unvetted, and had an open license to do whatever they wished. confirmed the footage is from the sites. The AP geolocated the videos using aerial imagery.
As Israel has targeted aid workers and dying UNRWA, it's propped up the GHF to deliver aid.
To benefits, but if you're a
Hello,
diehard Donald Trump supporter,
Jumigs!
you probably will
Good
support this
afternoon,
bill.
good afternoon.
Either way,
Maraming
it's
salamat
whether,
sa mga
people who
kastan
voted
yan.
for
Malapit
him.
na ba tayong mga isang oras sa pag-relax mga Jumigs?
现在他把这个
Boy, dato ko po Jumigs.
都是采用的
Ayan.
Good luck. Thank you.
Naano talaga ako mga
I
Jumigs.
had a great time.
Maraming salamat mga ka-Jumigs sa mga nag-standby. May love shoutout po. Ayan. Ano mo tayo mga ka-Jumigs na relax ngayon kasi lakad na naman mamaya mga
For June
ka-Jumigs.
CPI that comes on the 15th.
Kasi bukas na kami itong pumulawas.
districts
Na kami
where there
bukas
are
mga ka-Jumigs.
And a fresh round of oil price
Going back home na mga ka-Jumigs. Sulit ang bakasyon.
Holding inflation picked up in dapat.
Oo, tama. Sabi naman ni Mr. Wu,
Looks like beauty good. Hello mga ka-Jumigs ko dyan. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Maraming salamat. Bigyan ng shoutout po mga ka-Jumigs. Ayan. Bigyan ng shoutout. Maraming salamat sa nagkatambay. Huwag kalimutan magtamsak. Mga ka-Jumigs ko dyan. Ayan, nagano tayo mga ka-Jumigs. Relax muna ang ating ka-Jumigan niya. Kasi nakakapagod. Ayan. Ano nga, Jumigs yan. Okay. Ganyan na siya mga ka-Jumigs para cover. Ay, cover na. Cover. Ayan. Nanonood ako ng mga ka-Jumigs. Habang nag-relax, nanonood ako ng movie. Ayan. Maraming salamat sa nag-visit. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Bigyan ka love shoutout po sa inyo lahat dyan. Maraming salamat sa mga naka-standby. Huwag kalimutan mag-subscribe sa my channel at mag-like. Yan mga ka-Jumigs. Ano tayo? Sarap ng pag-aramdam na ano na yung anak mga Jumigs. Yung likod ko kasi nga pagod talaga ako mga Jumigs as in. Yung lakad namin. Hindi kami natuloy sa hot spring. Tsaka dun sa falls. Kasi katwira ng kasama ko is naka na siya ng falls. Nagsawa na siya sa falls. Tsaka yung hot spring. Kasi doon nakabingka yung hot spring. So yun, hindi na kami pumunta doon. Pero na-amiss talaga ako mga ka-Jumigs sa sulfur. Yung vulkan, as in talaga, hindi pa daw yung pumutok, pero talagang nag-uaso siya mga ka-Jumigs. Hindi siya pumutok. Ano talaga siya, nagbubuk ang tubig talaga niya mga ka-Jumigs. As in, nagbukal talaga siya mga ka-Jumigs. Grabe yung aso niya. Parang nagpakulo ka ba mga ka-Jumigs nang matagal mo siya yung pinabayaan mo siya kumulong. Ganun ang nangyari doon mga ka-Jumigs. Kitang-kita talaga namin. Ang ganda pati ng pagkagawa nila. Grabe, na-miss talaga ako. Dito na ako nakakita sa Dumaguete na ang ganda talaga. Yung ginawa nila ba para yung mga tourist spots, yung safety din. Kasi noon talaga daw, ano lang yun, parang ginadang karsada lang, ano lang yun. sa karsada, sa baba lang na karsada. Ngayon, lagyan talaga nila na para maka-picture-picture ang mga tourist spots na safety din ba? Safety din, hindi makapunta doon sa pero naman, nasa delikado kasi sa bata kasi baka mapasok kasi nag-ano siya ng tubig mga ka-Jumigs na meron talaga siyang flows na tubig. Tapos, nagbukal talaga siya mga ka-Jumigs flows. Pero, lahat ng siya mga ka-Jumigs is, yung nag-aso talaga, as in, grabe talaga. Ang ganda talaga siya mga ka-Jumigs, lagi sa kakayahan sa iba talaga sa community. Ang ganda talaga. Ang ganda talaga ng yung sa Soul 4, doon ako din maganda talaga siya. Pero naman, natatakot ako kasi, pala yun, nalalaman ko mga ka-Jumigs. Doon pala kinukuha nila yung electricity nila, yung source ng electricity nila, doon daw yung kinukuha. Matagal daw yung vulkan daw yung mga ka-Jumigs, pero hindi siya active, hindi siya pumunta, pero doon na kinukuha yung source. Daw yung mga ka-Jumigs, kaya pala sa, doon na yung spring, hindi na kami tumuloy, kasi nga doon na naman sa pinakaibabaw, kailangan pang kami mga ka-Jumigs maghabal-habal. Ayaw ng isa. Ako gusto ko, pero ang katulad ng isa is nakapunta na kami na kami na hot spring at saka falls. Kaya yun, hindi na kami tumuloy. Doon lang kami nagtagal sa Soul 4 na veins niya mga ka-Jumigs na talagang siya mga ka-Jumigs, grabe talaga na grabe ang usok niya mga ka-Jumigs. Grabe ang usok talaga, totoo talaga siya as in. Kaya ang init pati doon, mainit pa yung kasi punta ko doon ako, kinukunan ko talaga. Pinupokus ko talaga. Ang ganda talaga na doon ko mga ka-Jumigs, tapos ang ganda, lawak pa ng kanilang kalsada. Mas ang ganda siya. Tapos yung nila, yung railings nila pagkagawa. Na-miss talaga ako sa railings nila mga ka-Jumigs. Ngayon ako nakakita na yung paggawa bigka nila, ang style nila, makikita nyo, abangan yung mga ka-Jumigs yung i-upload ko ng video. Ma-miss talaga kayo. Ang ganda talaga ng railings na pagkagawa nila. Talagang iba-iba. Ngayon pala ako talaga nakakita dito lang. Sa Dumaguete, kaya proud kayo taga Dumaguete, taga Dumaguete, ang ganda talaga ng ninyo. Saludo talaga ko dun sa nyo. Ganda. Ganda talaga. Ayan, nakakabilib. Maraming salamat sa mga nag-visit. Miga-miga shoutout po sa mga lahat dyan. Ayan, good afternoon sa buong mundo. Sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao.
Where's my charger?
Here. Just wait. Yan mga ka-Jumigs, yung charger. Kung kanya siya mga ka-Jumigs, yung ilisan na natin mga ka-Jumigs. Mag-direct na lang tayo, kaya maglubat naman ako. Lubatin ako, start ko lang ako sa kuryente. Ayan mga ka-Jumigs, maraming salamat. Hi! Hello, Tita Ab. Good afternoon, Tita. Huh? Yeah, you can plug in there. It's not working. It's working there, sandali lang, Tita. Wow. How come you didn't work? It will work because it will work this one. It will work, give it to me. It's for, this one. This one. This one. Oh, that's wrong. The more is wrong. See? Ay, tita O, pasensya na tita O, kasi yung isa, naku, pati pag-charge, anong pag, pati kuan, kuan mo siya. Basta sa pagkuan, dili, kuan ba kayo, ate pa kayo. Ay, maraming salamat. Asa siya? Sanjiwa. Pasad, maraming salamat. Bigay love shoutout po. Yeah, maraming salamat, Tito Aw. Ano lang po, Tito O, habang nag-relax kasi napapagod ako sa pinupuntahan namin. Maraming salamat sa patams. Pinapapagod ako sa pinuntahan namin talaga, Tita Aw. Whole day kami nag-alis-alis. Yan. Maraming salamat, Tita Aw, sa pagbisita. Yan, ngayon nag-relax ako mag-isang oras na. Nag-relax ka. Karating na isang oras na ako nag-relax. Tapos, while nag-relax, ayan, nag-live. Kasi alis naman kami mamaya. From Sri Lanka. Okay, okay. Thank you for visiting my channel. Sanjiwa Prasad. Ayan. Kasi naka-charge yung phone ko. Ayan, maraming salamat, Tito Aw, talaga. Pasensya na ano yung ko. Hello, yan. Nag-relax naman kasi umaga pa lang kami 7, umalis na kami. Tapos, anong oras kami dumating dito? Mga 4:20 sa balik sa hotel. Ayan. Kaya nakakapagod. Pero ang nasulit talaga ang ulakad namin. Pero ang ko talagang as in sa lahat ng mga nilakad ko, magaganda sila lahat. Pero ang pinaka the best ko talaga, yung driving. No, I'm not in China. I'm in the Philippines. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for visiting my vlog. I'm from the Philippines, so I want English English the Carabao or English Big Baba. Ayan. I'm here in the Philippines. Thank you for visit my channel. Don't forget subscribe and like. Thank you so much for the time to visit. So, Sanjiwa Prasad, thank you. Mega love shout out po. Mega love shout out there in Sri Lanka. And maraming salamat, Tita Aw, sa pagbisita. Maraming salamat sa thumbs up. Yeah. Nag-relax. Kasi mamaya, nag-ano lang ito ng ng lakas kasi para makaano ako Jumex. Mamaya na naman ay ito, lakaran na naman. Yun, punta na naman sa hello, ayan. Not in China. I'm a proud Filipino from Philippines. Thanks for visiting my channel. salamat. Bigyan mo ka lang shoutout po. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Malapit din ako mag-isang oras na nag-relax, no? Ayan, nag-relax. Hello, good afternoon. Bigyan ko lang shoutout.
Revelation, and just in time. Who looked your mercy knows no bounds. For shame that I almost fell so easily.
Hello. Wala na tayo mga ka-Jumigs. Ganda na pinanood kong pelikula mga ka-Jumigs. Very nice. The movie.
Now showing St. Maud. Get to know the real heroes on and off screen. On Action Icon. Denzel Washington is a two-time Academy Award winner whose versatile work spans over 4 decades. We will be perfect! His illustrious career began in theater, acting and performances off-Broadway.
The old noble.
Nominated for 10 Oscars, he won Best Supporting Actor for Glory in 1989.
Y'all the only family I got.
And Best Actor.
Yun, isang oras na tayo mga ka-Jumigs. Tapos pahinga muna ang galing. Alis mga kamukha mga ka-Jumigs. Malapit na ng isang oras. Ayan. Maraming salamat sa mga nag-thumbs up. May kami kalap shoutout po sa mga dyan. Maraming salamat sa mga naka-standby. So, babay muna kayo. Mag-ano na ako, mag-prepare na ako mga ka-Jumigs. Maraming salamat mga ka-Jumigs sa mga naka-standby. May kami kalap shoutout po sa mga dyan. Ayan. Tapos na tayo mga ka-Jumigs. Ayan. Mga ka-Jumigs, bigyan ng kalap shoutout. Ayan, maraming salamat sa tayo mga ka-Jumigs. Okay, bye-bye. Mag-end na po tayo mga ka-Jumigs.